I want to make this video here, just review some of these pamphlets that are interesting and neat that I've been carrying with me. Native American Heritage in Arkansas. A lot of the places that are mentioned here, of course, I have video on. I've walked through them, hiked through areas, and seen a lot of this. That's a good picture of John Ross's wife's headstone at her gravesite in Little Rock. I wasn't able to see it. It was already closed. A lot of these places, by the time I got to the area, the museum was closed, but they still had a lot of interesting things to see out in the yard. There's Sarah Ridge's house. I wasn't able to make it to the universities of their collections. Either the museum would be closed, or the person that was overseeing it wasn't there. There's Lake Darnell. Lake Darnell was really nice. And Pea Ridge, I wanted to see that. And that's where Stan Wadey was fought. And I think John Jumper, Seminole John Jumper, served underneath Stan Wadey. And I'm not sure if Pea Ridge was where John Jumper was captured. I don't remember. That's Fort Smith. So this pamphlet's interesting because it gives you the breakdown sections of Arkansas and what some of the things that are there. And this little pamphlet gives the history of the tribes. This was helpful. You know, you just pick up bits and pieces of information and different things and different little pamphlets. And even though these pamphlets are, not very large, I didn't get to have the time to always consult with them. Weather play, when you're hiking these trails like this, weather controls and dictates what you do and what you can do and can't do, when you can read, when you can't read, and unless you're fortunate to get a place to stay indoors or a motel, when you're hiking, weather dictates. So I just wanted to show this real quick, this little pamphlet here that I've been carrying around with me. And this other one, this was really cool. This pamphlet really helped me understand about the roads and the road conditions and the way that they traveled, the boats. There was a lot of wagon accidents that occurred on the detachments. And so it wasn't an easy traveling. The roads were new, the paths were, some of the roads were just made and barely wide enough for the wagons. By river wasn't any easier or better. I mean, it was, I think they said, the easiest way, but there was still a lot of sickness, overcrowded flatboats and keel boats and steamboats. Of course, John Ross's wife died, and she was traveling by steamboat. I think Elias Boudinot traveled by steamboat. I had a book on the Trail of Tears, and the weather, it got wet way too many times and swelled up, mildewed, and just I had to get rid of it. This shows about the wagons, the railroads in Decatur to Scumbia Landing. That was the only area that the railroad played in the Trail of Tears. I didn't get to see this in Pulaski, and I was wanting to, but I couldn't find it, couldn't locate it. There's about the toll gates. A lot of times when they'd come up to the ferries and toll areas, they would be overcharged, so they would skip the ferries and just cross the rivers, the frozen rivers, and that made it rough on them. Crossing rivers in the winter. That's what the wagons look like. They would have traveled in. That's another one. So this was a little helpful, informative little pamphlet on the roads and the wagons and stuff, and I hope it shows up all right in the video. And that's a depiction of like a horse-powered ferry. Alright, I'm gonna go check out. This museum should be open. This is where the Peel Museum, this man served in the Confederacy, and I forget what rank he was or what position. Afterwards he became a lawyer. He was one of the early settlers here in Bentonville, and he was also operated as an Indian agent. So they have a museum here in his mansion, and so I'm going to go check this out.